Welcome to my new video that is a gameplay I had in the M4A176. My team and I almost lost this match, but we had a great comeback and were able to win it. In this video I use my recommended tactics on how to play the M4A176. I will talk about my tips and also give you some general tips on how to improve your gameplay. Let's start as always. What is my BPM? The initial spawn costs of my tank tell me that this match is at the BR 5.3, so almost a full uptier match. As I recommend you always want to play the M4A176 as a support tank. This is the purpose of this vehicle. The map we got is Kuban with domination, and I moved to the capture point A. I haven't made a map tactic yet for this map, but it most likely will be the next map tactic I will make. When you decide to go to this capture point, you don't want to capture it right away, because once you are at the point there is nowhere else to go. In the beginning of a match the point is a trap. When you play the M4A176 you first need to find a position around the capture point, where you have cover for all of your sides. Like this hull down position here. This spot is not only crucial for the capture point, but also a perfect first key position for the M4A176. The enemy is not able to push me, I can go hull down and have an impact on the match. I take out my first enemy and bounce the shot on the KV-1. With the binoculars I try to detect the enemy but find another one. From this position I can perfectly shoot on the side of the turret and take out the KV-85. This tank can be difficult to destroy when you face it frontally. Most of my teammates are at the capture point C, so I can't follow them in support from the second row like I recommend for the M4A176. This is why I have to wait and see how the match evolves. And just a few moments later the KV-1 from earlier shows up again. The enemy does everything he can and angle the tank, but I am lucky with my shot and take out his gunner. The fast reload of the M4A176 comes in handy in this situation. So far I was able to take out 3 enemies and secured the capture point from this position. I am still all on my own at the capture point. My team is fighting at C and the capture point B belongs to the enemy. This is not the time to push. I have to assume that there will be more enemies trying to capture A. The ASU has also a strong gun and can penetrate my turret. Being fully tanked down helps me in this situation as well as the stabilizer of the M4A176. Later I was able to detect the T-34-57 coming towards my position. Since I have the higher ground I have a better angle and can easily shoot his front plate. My team lost the fight at C. The enemy has all 3 capture points and the whole match nobody of my team helped me in this up tier at the capture point A. So I wasn't really able to push beyond my first position. When you play the M4A176 you need the help of your team. But a quick look on the leaderboard tells me that the numbers are in my favor. The enemy already lost a good number of players and Kuban offers a lot of hills to sneak around the map. Now it is time to push the enemy and turn this match around. I know that I can rely on the good gun and stabilizer of my tank. First stop is the capture point A. Try to use the ground in front of you as cover and the gun depression and stabilizer to your advantage. The falling tree tells me that there is another enemy. My first shot doesn't do much damage to the enemy, so I decide to back up and try to attack him from a different angle. In addition, you want to keep in mind that the capture point B is not the safest position on this map. Kuban has a lot of good spots to hide, but at B you can be attacked from several sides. So I don't want to risk to get destroyed and decide to relocate. I have to force the enemy to leave his position, and this is why I use the squadron mark to highlight his position. Doing so I know where to send some artillery. The M4A176 doesn't have the best mobility and it has a rather large profile. I can't recommend to drive around in the open for too long with this tank. But again the leaderboard gives me the information that there aren't many enemies left in this match. This is why I can play it a bit more aggressive in this situation. I have to assume that the enemy is on his way to the point to destroy me, and that he also highlighted me on the map for his teammates. I use the path below the bridge to circle around the enemy and get behind him, even if that means that I give up the capture point B for the moment. And just a few seconds later I can easily shoot on the side of the enemy and take him out. In the meantime B was cleared by the enemy team, but not by the player that I just took out. That means there has to be another enemy, so the decision I made earlier was correct. If I had stayed in place, the 2 enemies could have attacked me from different sides and most likely taken me out. So there is another enemy at B. This is why I decide to attack the enemy from their side of the capture point. In addition, my teammate can push the enemy from the front. You see, the capture point B is not the safest place, especially in the beginning of a match. My teammate is already clearing the point, but neither he nor I have spotted the enemy. This means the enemy already has left the point and that it has to be a fast enemy. The enemy is capturing A, and so I know where the enemy has gone. Again, I send some artillery to stress the enemy and not give him enough time to hide his tank. In addition, I assume that it has to be a squishy vehicle because the player was really fast. So it is time to move to the capture point A and to get it back. This time I have the support of another teammate. With the earphones I can detect an engine sound to my left and highlight it on the map for my teammate. Hopefully he will have a look at the minimap. The squishy enemy is destroyed and my teammate just drives into the line of fire of the anti-air. But the fast reload of the M4A176 and the machine gun helps me to deal with this situation. And of course another enemy appears behind us. It is a T-34 something and I have to back up into a hull down position. But unfortunately the mobility of my tank is not that good and the enemy is able to penetrate my armor and does a good amount of damage. I back up and highlight the enemy on the map. Doing so I hope my teammate will help me when the enemy tank is coming to destroy me. But my teammate is on his way to the capture point and I am a sitting duck. I can still fire my gun. When the enemy pushes my position I just have to turn my hull towards the enemy and shoot him. So I decide to start repairing and see what will happen. The capture point B is getting clear and so I have to assume that the T-34 something is not on his way to take me out. I listen for the sound of the enemy's engine and try to figure out where he is going. He is not coming towards me and so it is time to push him. Again I use the higher ground to have a better angle and to use it as a hull down position. In the end I was able to take out 11 enemies in this up-tier match without getting destroyed. My team and I were able to turn this match around and win. I hope I was able to give you some general tips on how to improve your gameplay and on how to play the M4A176 successfully. Like, subscribe and leave a comment if you want to, and check out my Discord server for more information and to connect with other players. Hope to see you in game soon.